Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the USS Liberty, watching the stars through the main screen. His ship was 3 months into a routine survey mission near the edge of human space. The crew had been mapping new star systems and looking for planets that might support life someday. "Captain, we're picking up something strange on long-range sensors," said Lisa Carter from her station at Tactical. She was a good officer, calm under pressure and always thorough with her reports. Jake walked over to look at her screen. "What? Kind of strange? Large objects moving through the system ahead of us, too big to be asteroids and moving too fast to be natural." Lisa frowned at her readings. "Sir, these things are huge. Each one is at least twice the size of our ship." Danny Walsh, the chief engineer, looked up from his console. "Could be space debris from an old battle. We found wrecked ships before in these outer systems." "No, sir," Amy Brooks called out from communications. "I'm detecting energy signatures. These objects are powered and under active control." Jake felt his stomach tighten. In all of humanity's expansion into space, they had never found signs of active alien technology. There were ruins on dead worlds and broken ships floating in space, but nothing that still worked. "Red alert. All hands to battle stations," Jake ordered. The bridge lights dimmed and warning sirens echoed through the ship. "Lisa, bring up the shields. Danny, give me everything the engines can handle. Amy, try to contact Earth Command." Before anyone could respond, the space in front of them began to shimmer like heat waves rising from hot pavement. Massive shapes appeared out of nowhere, surrounding the USS Liberty on all sides. Jake had never seen ships like these before. They were dark gray with sharp angles and glowing red lights along their hulls. Each one was easily 3 times larger than his exploration vessel. "My God," whispered Danny. "Where did they come from?" "Cloaking technology," Lisa said, her voice tight with fear. "They were hiding and we flew right into their trap." The largest alien ship moved closer to the Liberty. Its hull was covered in weapon ports that could turn Jake's ship into scrap metal in seconds. Red beams of light began scanning the human vessel from top to bottom. "Captain, I'm receiving a transmission," Amy reported. "They're using our own communication frequencies somehow. Put it on screen." The main display changed to show the interior of an alien bridge. The creature standing in the center was tall and thin with pale blue skin and large black eyes. It wore what looked like a military uniform covered in medals and rank symbols. When it spoke, its voice was cold and emotionless. "Primitive vessel, you will identify your species and your homeworld immediately." Jake stepped forward. "I am Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earth Space Command. This is an exploration ship on a peaceful mission. We mean no harm to you or your people." The alien commander made a sound that might have been laughter. "Earth. Yes, we have heard reports of your small blue world. I am Admiral Kethvar of the Velthrian Empire. Your species will surrender all territory and submit to imperial rule. Resistance will result in the complete destruction of your civilization." "Now wait just a minute," Jake said, trying to keep his voice steady. "We can talk about this. Maybe we can work out some kind of agreement." "There is nothing to discuss. The Velthrian Empire has conquered 43 species across this galaxy. Your kind will become the 44th. You have primitive technology and weak military forces. Your conquest will require minimal effort." Lisa grabbed Jake's arm. "Sir, more ships are appearing. I count over 50 vessels now, and they're all bigger than anything in our fleet." Jake looked at the display showing the enemy ships. Each one bristled with weapons and armor plating. The USS Liberty's plasma cannons would barely scratch their hulls. "Admiral Kethvar, surely we can find a peaceful solution. Humans are reasonable people. We can negotiate." "Your opinion is irrelevant. I will now demonstrate the fate of species who resist the Empire." The alien pointed at something off-screen. "Destroy the small moon orbiting the 4th planet in this system." Jake watched in horror as 3 of the Velthrian ships fired bright red beams at a chunk of rock floating in the distance. The moon, which was about the size of Earth's own moon, simply vanished in a flash of light and debris. "That is what happens to worlds that refuse to surrender," Admiral Kethvar said. "Your Earth will suffer the same fate unless your leaders submit within 7 of your days. Do not attempt to warn your people or interfere with our advance. Any human ship that approaches, our fleet will be destroyed without warning." The transmission ended, leaving Jake and his crew staring at empty space where a moon had existed moments before. "Amy, can you reach Earth Command?" Jake asked. "I'm trying, sir, but they're jamming our communications. I can't get a signal through." Danny ran his hands through his hair. "Captain, we need to get word back to Earth. If those ships attack our homeworld, billions of people will die." "I know," Jake said grimly. "Lisa, plot a course back to Earth, maximum speed. We need to stay ahead of their fleet and warn everyone." "Sir, they said they'd destroy any human ship that interfered. Then we'll have to be very careful not to get caught." Jake sat down in his command chair. "Take us out of here. Use the asteroid field to break their sensor lock." The USS Liberty turned and accelerated away from the Velthrian fleet. Jake watched, the alien ships on his rear display, knowing that each one could vaporize his vessel without effort. But he also knew that Earth had to be warned about what was coming. As they raced through space toward home, Jake couldn't stop thinking about Admiral Kethvar's words. 43 conquered species, primitive technology, weak military forces. The alien commander had dismissed humanity like they were insects to be stepped on. Maybe he was right. Earth's space fleet was designed for exploration and colony support, not warfare. Their weapons were intended for asteroid mining and clearing space debris. Against ships that could destroy moons, what chance did humanity have? "Captain," Amy said quietly. "Even if we reach Earth, what can we tell them? How do you fight an enemy like that?" Jake didn't have an answer. All he knew was that they had to try. The USS Liberty raced through space at maximum speed, its engines pushed to the breaking point. Captain Jake Morrison had not slept in 36 hours, drinking coffee and watching the sensor screens for any sign of Velthrian pursuit. His crew worked in shifts, but Jake refused to leave the bridge. "Captain, we're receiving distress signals from the outer colonies," Amy Brooks reported from her communication station. Her face was pale with worry. "New Geneva colony just went silent. Before the signal cut out, they reported massive alien ships in orbit." Danny Walsh looked up from his engineering console. "That's impossible. New Geneva is 2 days ahead of us on the route to Earth. How did the aliens get there so fast?" "They must have split their fleet," Jake said grimly. "Some ships went directly to attack the colonies while others are following us home." Lisa Carter's tactical display showed red, warning symbols spreading across human space like a plague. "Sir, I'm tracking similar attacks on Titan Station Europa Base and the mining colonies in the belt. The enemy is hitting everything at once." Jake watched the symbols disappear one by one as human outposts fell silent. Each symbol represented thousands of lives, families, and friends who would never see another sunrise. The Velthrian Empire was not just conquering human territory, they were destroying it. "How long until we reach Earth?" Jake asked. 18 hours at current speed, Danny replied. "But sir, the engines are already running hot. If we push them any harder, we might not make it at all. We have to risk it. Earth needs to know what